Here are 3 things you should never do if you want a calmer mind, stronger self-respect, and a life that actually moves forward instead of sideways. The first is this: never chase love. Chasing love feels noble at first. It feels romantic. It feels like devotion. But psychologically, it is one of the fastest ways to erode your self-esteem. Carl Jung would say that when you chase love, you are no longer relating to another human being. You are relating to a projection. You are chasing an image of who you want them to be, not who they are showing themselves to be. And the more you chase, the more you abandon yourself. Love that has to be chased is already running away. Real attraction does not need persuasion, pressure, or performance. When someone is interested, they make themselves available. Not perfectly, not constantly, but clearly. When they are not, the absence speaks louder than any mixed signal. Chasing turns that absence into a personal referendum on your worth. You start negotiating with silence. You explain things that do not need explanation. You tolerate confusion because certainty would mean letting go. From a Jungian perspective, this is the ego trying to secure validation from outside instead of building it from within. The danger is subtle but profound. Every unanswered message, every delayed reply, every breadcrumb becomes a small lesson that says you must work harder to be chosen. Over time, your nervous system learns that love equals anxiety, that affection must be earned, that presence is conditional. And the deepest irony is this: the more you chase, the less attractive you become. Not because you are unworthy, but because chasing signals inner lack. It tells the other person that you have placed them above yourself. Healthy love requires 2 people standing on equal ground. When you chase, you kneel. And nobody truly respects what kneels before them. If someone loves you, they will let you know. If they do not, the most self-respecting thing you can do is step back, let go, and redirect that energy into your own life. Love does not need pursuit. It needs recognition. And when it is not there, walking away is not a loss. It is a return to yourself. The second thing you should never do is argue with stupid. This is not about arrogance or calling people names. It is about understanding psychology. Arguing requires a shared framework of logic, curiosity, and good faith. When those are missing, conversation becomes theater. And stupid does not mean low intelligence. It means closed intelligence. It means someone who has already decided that they are right and is only engaging to dominate, provoke, or exhaust. Jung spoke often about the shadow, the parts of ourselves we do not want to see. When you argue with stupid, you're often arguing with someone else's shadow while your own gets activated in the process. Your ego steps in. You want to win. You want to correct. You want to restore order to chaos. And that is exactly how you get pulled down to a level you never intended to visit. The old saying is true: stupid will bring you down to its own level and beat you with experience. Not because it is smarter, but because it has no rules. It is not playing to understand. It is playing to persist. You bring facts. They bring volume. You bring nuance. They bring repetition. You bring evidence. They bring certainty. And certainty without self-doubt is impervious to reason. Psychologically, arguing with someone like this drains cognitive and emotional resources without producing insight. It keeps you locked in reactivity. You leave the interaction irritated, doubting yourself, replaying conversations in your head, while the other person feels energized and affirmed simply because they resisted change. The wisest move is disengagement. Silence is not weakness here. It is precision. You do not owe your energy to every provocation. You do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. Intelligence knows when to speak. Wisdom knows when not to. And peace often comes not from winning debates, but from refusing to enter them at all. The third thing you should never do is argue, defend, debate, rationalize, or constantly explain the truth. Truth does not need your permission to exist. It does not need applause. It does not need consensus. Jung understood truth as something that emerges from deep alignment between inner reality and outer expression. When something is true, it stands on its own. It is self-supporting. The moment you feel compelled to endlessly defend it, you should pause and ask why. People often confuse truth with approval. When others challenge what we know to be true, the ego rushes in to protect identity. We start arguing not for truth itself, but for our image as someone who is right. And that is where things go wrong. Because truth is not fragile, but egos are. There is also a deeper psychological principle at play. Truth cannot be forced into another person's consciousness. Insight arrives when someone is ready, not when you are loud. Explaining the truth to someone who is invested in misunderstanding is like pouring water into a closed cup. Nothing goes in. Everything spills. This does not mean truth never needs to be acted on or lived out. Sometimes it does need to be embodied. Sometimes it does need to be defended through action. But it rarely needs to be argued into existence. The more calmly you live in alignment with what is true for you, the less explanation is required. Reality speaks louder than rhetoric. When you stop over-explaining, something interesting happens. You regain your center. You stop leaking energy into endless justification. You let truth be what it is, and you allow others to take responsibility for how they relate to it. Some will resist it. Some will distort it. Some will attack it. None of that diminishes it. In the end, these three rules point to the same underlying principle. Do not abandon yourself. Do not chase what does not choose you. Do not wrestle with minds that are closed. Do not beg reality to be acknowledged. Strength is quiet. Clarity is calm. And a well-lived life does not argue for its value. It demonstrates it.